Good morning, all. Good morning, all. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're surviving through this lockdown. So I thought I would just quickly jump on here first of all to check in with you guys. We've been around. Family law assistance has been around for nearly 12 years now. How mad is that? How mad is that? How mad is it to think that we've been around for that length of time? Anywho, reminder, okay, a reminder that we are doing our monthly Ask Us Anything about family law. Now, tickets are through Eventbrite. I'll drop the link in the comments below. It's on Zoom and it's on Thursday. Next Thursday. Had me confused, like today's Thursday. Next Thursday. So a week today. Grab your tickets. They're on Eventbrite. They're free. And listen, the purpose of these things are to, first of all, it allows you to have a chat with me. Okay, it allows you to honestly just check in with each other in this period of self-isolation, whether you're not seeing your children, whether you're worried about sending your child to contact, whether contact has deteriorated at all, whether you've got an ongoing court case and what happens with that. How about if communication has deteriorated to such an extent that neither party is communicating and therefore the children are being stuck in the middle? Or how about if you've got ongoing court hearings and finance applications? Or what if you need to make an emergency application? I know, right? It's a lot of questions. So we get a lot of DMs, and as you can imagine, especially with COVID, we are super busy, like really busy. But that's to be expected, you know. I remember when lockdown first happened, we were the first on it. We were the first on it to sort of share exactly what the advice and guidance meant for you and what it meant for your children, what it meant for just your situation. And we've constantly kept you up to date with where the courts are at. So any divorce hearings, any financial hearings that you've got, like any child issues that you may have, we had you covered. We've had you covered from day one. And so what we used to do before COVID, look, we've been remote, we've been working remotely for years. I mean, it's one of the reasons we've been able to cover the entire country. Now that lockdown is here, listen, family law assistants are embracing a new way of communicating. One of the things that we've done a lot more of is Zoom. I mean, like, who hasn't heard of Zoom by now? Now, I was using Zoom before instead of on my one-to-one work, but we thought as family law assistants, because hey, you know, we like to innovate here, we thought rather than have the Ask Us Anything, which traditionally used to be live, it used to be a monthly-ish live with me and sometimes Stephen sat together answering your questions, and you'd have to send in the questions and blah, blah, blah. So now what we do is we're doing a monthly Ask Us Anything about family law. Anything, whether it's they've not filled out the contact book, all the way through to what's happening in COVID, to what's happening in the courts, what's happening with my divorce and finance, what happens if you've got an emergency situation. Now, this enables you to, first of all, it means that I can see you and have like a proper chat with you rather, I mean, this is great, you know, you guys watch, OG people who've been with us for years will know that you see a lot of my face and you've probably seen a lot of my face for years. So the Ask Us Anything really gives us that opportunity just to kind of get to know each other. Now, last time we did this, we were sold out. I say sold out, tickets are free, but the tickets, because look, there's only one of us, all right? So the tickets for the Ask Us Anything, I want to make super clear, they are limited, okay? They are limited. Last time we did this, we were like sold out within 12 hours, like, you know. So if you want a ticket, I'll put the deets below. Grab yourself a free ticket. Come and join us next Thursday. I think it's 7 o'clock. Okay. Join us. Bring your questions. Bring a snack, maybe a glass of wine. Chill out. And here's the thing, here's what I really like about these Ask Us Anything. not only does it mean that I get to see you and you get to see me, but there can be an actual conversation. Those of you who are OG subscribers will know that it's traditionally been me sat in front of here talking to you. And when it came to the Ask Us Anything, Mark, why have Kafkas got a 70% or more Section 31 target? Great question. Bring it along next week. Put your questions together, okay? Because I'll be answering all of them, okay? Answering all of them. We've got a couple of, requirements. First of all, is you don't mention, we have a confidentiality thing, which for obvious reasons needs to be respected. So we don't let you talk about judges' names, Kafkas officers, your children's names, that sort of thing. So we've got a confidentiality issue, and we have to see you, okay? If we can't see you, you can't be admitted in. Now, Stephen does a lot of the background stuff, like he orchestrates the whole thing, which thank God, because honestly, if I was left to do it, it would be a hot mess. So Stephen orchestrates everything, and so you have moi answering your questions, okay? Bring your questions with you. And here's the thing, like sometimes when you've got that Ask Us Anything about courts and family law, sometimes questions are organic. You might have, and I might give an answer and you go, well, and there may be a follow-up question. So this monthly Ask Us Anything just allows that to happen. It allows that to be organic and allows that to be natural. Can I say as well, actually, okay, we are like the only people doing this. Ridiculous, right? When you think of people and the issues we've got around isolation, the fact that there is a global pandemic, and I don't care what court order you've got, okay, your court order is not going to have what to do in a global pandemic, because it comes under acts of God, right? And the other thing as well is that we don't know what's going to happen in the future, so we deal with now, deal in real, deal with now. So we'll be able to give you an update on what's happening with the courts now. Spoiler alert, it depends where you are in the country as to how courts are dealing with individual cases, okay? So we'll be going through what's going on with the courts, like, because it changes all the time. And from our point of view, it's been a fast moving beast. It's been a fast moving beast, and we keep up with it. We are lucky in the fact that we have been working remotely for years. So this is nothing new to us. There have been, Mark. Good morning, Mark. Hello. Hope you're all well. We're surviving, Mark. Surprisingly, things are good for me at the minute. Thanks for your help. Oh, I'm pleased to hear that. That, guys and gals, that is exactly where I want every one of you guys to be, okay? I want people to be in a really good place. You don't have to spend a whacking ton of money to get a relationship with your kids, to have the financial settlement sorted, to be able to have your divorce sorted, okay? And here, spoiler alert, okay, like before a global pandemic, most people that were walking through the doors of family law were representing themselves, okay? There's a disturbing statistic, which I believe to be true, honestly, and they say that 70% of solicitors' firms are going to fold because of this crisis. It doesn't surprise me. I mean, we are here and have been for nearly 12 years. Like, I can't, where has that time gone? Like, some people have been like with us who are OG subscribers who've been with us nearly since day one. We did an Ask Us Live last month. And when people come in and I see their faces and I recognise you, oh my gosh, So it's nice for people who have been through this process just to keep themselves up to date with what's going on. Because if you have one of those exes, if you know, then you know that you're constantly on alert. Because, this is a weird thing. If you've got kids and you've got a court order, how many parenting books out there that are telling you guys and how to parent with a court order? rights nobody ever. So, you know, the reality is that people who have been through family law are keeping themselves up to date. Mark, I am so pleased that you're in a great place. I'm so pleased, and I'm really, really pleased that the help that you had from us was useful. So here's the thing, moving forward, so family law assistance, I don't know if I should be telling you this. Should I be telling you this? Maybe, sod it. They're going to kill me. So family law assistance is growing, and it has to, because it just has to, because for a start, the family law, the way it's run at the moment, it's in dire straits. If that statistic is true, that 70% of legal firms are going to close, you know, people just aren't going to be, two things, people aren't going to be able to afford the £250 an hour plus VAT. Okay, they're just not. Also, you know what? People who have been through this process, who have used either our help or have had another really good Mackenzie friend help, will know the value of going through family court with the proverbial arm around the shoulder. Because here's what people want, really. All the citing of case law, which we know anyway, all the statute, the forms, none of it matters when you are talking to somebody who is fighting to have a relationship with their child, or you are there with somebody who is distraught because they're a victim of domestic abuse, when they're trying to get a non-molestation order. I get it. Mark, hiya Mark. I hope all solicitor firms that have a direct MBE or OB are closed, but I doubt it. Who knows? Who knows, Mark? It's a good question, because, you know, we are entering the new normal. People who are waiting for things to go back to normal, it's over. Like, it is so over. People need to adapt and change. And, you know, I know that we're certainly in a great place. We always have been. Like, you know, we've been working remotely for years. It's one of the reasons, and there's been such an advantage to that, because not only have we come on here, like, you must be sick of my face by now, but not only have we come on here and sort of said, look, here's where we're at today, here's where we're at tomorrow, and doing stuff like that, but, you know, the emotional support and the way that we can act really quickly. Here's the thing. If you've got a firm of solicitors, and I'm not solicitor bashing at all, a lot of my good friends are solicitors and barristers, and, you know, huge respect to them. But here's the thing. Sometimes you need matters to be sorted out like that. Now, I have always said, when people work with me, I'll always say, look, get yourself a scanner. Get yourself a printer, get yourself a scanner, because you're going to need it. Sometimes, rather than waiting for the postal service, which, by the way, is shit now, because I don't know where you guys are, but they've dropped a Saturday service where we are. So, you know, the Royal Mail are under supreme pressure. So when it comes to the posting of the documents today, and listen, you guys know that if you've been in family law, there's a lot of documents, okay? One thing's for certain, there's a lot of documents. So get yourself a scanner, get yourself a printer. If you aren't able to scan something as a PDF, guess what? I can get it like that. And sometimes things do change on a penny. You know, sometimes this can be a fast-moving object, just like family law courts are. So, Mark, yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. Who knows what's going to survive? One thing I do know, though, is that I believe a lot of the professionals in the family law system are out of touch. They are out of touch with what is actually going on, because the stuff that you read in the crusty law books, and I read them, doesn't really apply to the reality. You know, the Children Act, for example, or the Matrimonial Causes Act is an amazing piece of legislation. You read that legislation, it totally makes sense. But here's the thing. Interpreting it is a totally different thing. Interpreting it and what's actually going to happen on the ground. And not just that, but family law is about people. Family law is about people. Family law is about trying to get people together who don't get on. That doesn't become necessarily about statute and case law. the day-to-day stuff, the day-to-day people are honestly want a plan. They want a result, and they don't want to be in court for ages. Now, courts are generally particularly slow, although I say that way back when courts used to be even slower, if that's possible, but it's true, it used to be even slower. Your average person is spending, if you're talking just about a child case or a divorce case, you're looking an average amount of time for somebody to be in family law proceedings. They're looking at around 18 months. Now, that might seem really slow. Trust me when I tell you that that is lightning speed to how it was. Hiya, Sophie. Thanks for the love hearts. Thank you. So people need that plan. People need that we're doing this now, this next, and that afterwards. People often say to me, fun fact, by the way, fun fact, okay, 2/3 of our clients come to us not because they can't afford a solicitor, because they don't want one. And I wrote an article lately, I don't know if you guys read it, but one of the things I said in the article is I remember going to the Royal Courts of Justice, and my client had spent around 70k, which I know a lot of you think, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money, but it wasn't, not for London, not for Royal Courts of Justice, not for the Strand, not really for an ongoing court case. And he was about to chuck the towel in. Now, the guy in question, actually, very intelligent, erudite, articulate, you know, a reasonably well-known journalist. But in family law, anywhere else, he can articulate, he was intelligent, but in family law, because we were talking about his children, because he was talking about his children, that just went out of the window. And the reason that he'd come to us was because his solicitors, I've got a lot of good friends with solicitors, but I couldn't, on this particular occasion, I couldn't ignore what he was complaining about. He said that he felt that they were overcharged. I get why they're overcharged, but he felt that they were overcharged. He felt they weren't delivering. He felt there was no joined up thinking, and they felt he didn't care. Sophie, I think that's why you're amazing. Oh, thank you, because you understand the family is not just out of a book. Sophie, that absolutely hits the nail on the head. Absolutely. I'm going to use that quote, if that's all right with you, Sophie. I'm going to use that quote because that's exactly what we do here. That is exactly why we do what we do. You know, a lot of people, especially in the legal industry, often say to me, Michaela, because listen, I've worked in civil litigation for about 20 years, you know, there ain't nothing I've not seen. And when I go to court, I regularly get asked, Michaela, why don't you become and just finish off and become the solicitor and become the barrister? My answer has always been the same. Always. Because I don't want to be. Like, there is a very, very much needed niche here. There's a much needed niche here because it's not about the case law. If I was to sit down in front of a client, right, and start babbling about section such and such of this act and that act and this case, nobody gives a shit. No, nobody gives a shit. What they want to know is, how am I going to see my kids? What they want to know is, when does my divorce come through? What they want to know is, what do I say in front of the judge? Those are the real life questions. Now, listen, I'm lucky because what I do is furnished with that background. It's furnished with that, you know. This ain't our first rodeo, so we know exactly what works and exactly what doesn't. We know what to say and what not to say, and we apply that without the legalese. And most importantly, is that this process becomes a proactive approach rather than a reactive approach. A lot of people, represented or not actually, often feel that this is something that is happening to them. We change that so that you're in the driving seat. You say who, what, why, where, when and how, and you feel like that. And this is one of the reasons why, honestly, people who have been representing themselves with someone like a family law assistant specialist like us next to them, it is a winning team. Because you know who, what, why, where, when and how, like that. What you need is a conductor. What you need is somebody to understand. What you need is somebody to help you calm down, to help you know what to say to Cafcass, to what to say to the judge. Do we sit down, stand up? I mean, it's like a really bad church service. People need to know how to navigate their way through the family law system. Trust me when I say this, it's not shrouded in this kind of mystery and gravitas that often legal professionals claim it needs to be. Doesn't. I say this with caution, but the stuff that I advise people, you can Google half of this stuff. The key is applying it specifically to your case. So not only have we got a vat of experience, but, you know, we speak your language. So family law assistance, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but heck, cat's out the bag now. But family law assistance is growing. It is growing and we're expanding. You know, those of you that don't know is I offer training. I offer training. So if you want to become a family law specialist, we do that. Now, I caveat that by saying that I turn away more people than I take on. Because anybody that's having the badge, honestly, of family law assistance needs to have the right attitude. I'm not in the business for training family law specialists who are angry, who have an agenda, who want to prosecute their own cases. There are other people there. There are other people for that purpose. That's not me. If you think, and if you, because listen, the world has pressed pause. So if you're in a position and you think, you know what, I could do this better, or you think the service, because that's what often happens, the service that I had didn't have in my representation. Sometimes, listen, I've been in a court hearing where somebody has spent a bajillion amount of money for their legal briefs, and the judge doesn't bother speaking to them. They speak to the person themselves, and you kind of think, well, what's the point of having them there, right? So we are expanding. I've already got hand-picked people trained by me to help. I'm really excited because the people that we've got are like the cream of the crop, the cream of the crop. They're the most helpful, the most dedicated, the most passionate people that you could think of to help. And we're growing. So, you know, this is going to be the new. People most people who go through family court, honestly, are mostly representing themselves. But they need the help to guide them through that process without having to spend a shit ton of money and wanting somebody to help. Now, we're already starting to see cases increase. Of course they are, you know. It's the Wild West out there. We are in a global pandemic. Of course that's going to have a negative impact on people's families. People who don't know me, I don't know, maybe people do, but so apart from this, I'm also an NLP and hypnosis trainer. I'm a master coach, I'm a hypnotherapist as well as this. So I have made sure that I've got every tool in my box to make sure that we help you. So I'm not just teaching students the law. People who've trained with me, by the way, know how intense my training is. Because not only do I teach you the law, but I also teach you on how to handle clients. Something, by the way, that is missing from every legal profession. Any Tom, Dick or Harry can give you a crusty old law book, say, read these chapters, here's a bit of case studies, go off, bye-bye, have a nice life. Nobody is out there knowing how to look after people. And that's what I think makes us really unique. That's what sets us apart. So if you're sitting there thinking, do you know what, I could really do that, then holler at me, okay, and let's have a chat, because we are growing. There for family law assistance, it is exciting times. I'm very, very passionate about helping people be reunited with their children. I'm very passionate about saving families. You know, my background myself, the way that we got into this, I have spent my entire career working specifically with difficult relationships. I was an ex-debt collector, I was an ex-fraud investigator, I've worked in family law for 12 years, I was an ex-benefits review officer. Trust me, I repossessed cars, I repossessed houses. I get it. I was always good at doing what I was doing because I was always asking those questions that nobody else was asking. Spoiler alert, way back in the day when it was debt collecting, it was never about the cars or the house I repossessed. It was because there was always a family breakdown. And that relationship is huge because it has a ripple effect on everything else that you do. So trust me when I say, when it comes to a difficult relationship, I get it. We definitely need someone like you guys near us locally. Sophie, we're virtual, so it doesn't matter where you are in the country, we can help. Okay, and that's only going to grow. We were doing that before a global pandemic, so anywhere that was the beauty. We're not restricted. We never have been. We've not been restricted to individual parts of the country. We are local. We're local everywhere because we're virtual. So Sophie, if that's of any use to you, shoot, hoot and holler at me. Okay, and also grab yourself a free ticket. Sophie, grab yourself a free ticket. I think Stephen, always one step ahead, has posted a link. So grab yourself a ticket and come and join us next Thursday. It's free, you may as well. And it just gives you that opportunity just to get to know each other a bit better. Sometimes these questions you have about family law are organic. We used to say to you, look, prepare your questions in advance, and we get a lot. But sometimes there's that feedback, isn't it? So we'll answer a question. Actually, there's normally a follow-up. So yeah. So Sophie, I hope that helps because, like I said, I feel like we are omnipresent, omnipotent. Yeah. Thank you, Stephen. Always one step ahead of me. Yeah. We are omnipotent. We are everywhere, and we are growing. Okay. One of the drawbacks that we used to have, and we're going to have that a lot more now, I suspect, was that there used to be only two of us. For ages there were just two of us. So first start, it was, listen, most people who do what we did, or used to, because a lot of people have folded, who used to do what we do were one-man bands. So if they couldn't attend a hearing, they'd be passing it to somebody else, which is great and all. But you haven't got that continuity. One of the things that we always had is if I couldn't attend a hearing, Stephen would. And because there's a whole background infrastructure which you guys don't see, honestly it's boring but super important. So if I couldn't attend a hearing, Stephen would, and vice versa. And we would be able to share that information because we invested in the infrastructure. Some people have invested their time and effort trying to campaign to get things changed. That is in our bag. Okay, we are not at the moment, we are not into trying to campaign to get the law changed, because honestly that's going to take forever. And really what people need here on the ground is just to see their kids. What they need now is just to get their finance sorted. Okay, so because of that, we've invested our time in, honestly, we do blogs, vlogs, we've got a team of people that take calls. Okay, so that, listen, if we didn't have that, we'd be so inundated with calls we wouldn't be able to do any of the work that we do. Okay, so we have got a team of people who just pick up the phone and ring. They are the best of the best. They are fully able to take care of all of the challenges. And look, some people come on the phone angry, upset, emotional, distressed. We've had one person that came on the phone and said that she was going to attempt suicide. We dealt with that. So we've also got computer systems in place so that anytime people ring in, if they've got an ongoing case, we log we are far beyond pen and paper here, like far beyond. We've invested in a website, which by the way is going to be updated. So our website is going to be updated. We've trained people, and we've trained the best of the best. Not just anybody, but the best of the best. And when I say the best of the best people with the right attitude. Okay? The right attitude, the passion and the dedication that we have in what we do. So anybody else that's going out under our banner has that same attitude, that same level of care. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of infrastructure that goes on that you guys don't see, and why should you? But here's the thing, we are set up already to expand it, and we are expanding. So what we have now is that we'll have people being able to get to your court hearing like that, where you're not going to have to repeat yourself because I just know your case. It'll be seamless, she says, hopefully. No, I'm kidding. I'm super proud of what we've done here, and I'm excited about our growth, and I'm excited about where we're going, okay? Because honestly, the one thing that we've always prided ourselves on is the care and passion that we give to people. So I'm rambling now. I do get carried away because I'm so passionate about it. Guys, if you get on, hit the link that Stephen's put on, grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack, hit the link, get your free ticket for the Ask Us Anything that's going to be next Thursday. Okay, we're talking all things court, all things COVID, anything that you need answering. Join us for a live. We have two things, okay? And I'm saying this now ahead so that Stephen doesn't get on my back about it later. Two things. First of all, we obviously naturally respect confidentiality, so no mention of your children's names, no mention of CAFCAS officers, individuals, courts, judges, that sort of thing. We respect confidentiality. And the second thing is you need to show your face, okay? Don't show your face, can't come in, okay? It's really that simple. So grab yourself a ticket. They do sell out fast. Sell out, you know what I mean. Sophie, cannot wait, thank you. I can't wait to see you, seriously. One of the things I've banged on about before, I love these Ask Us Anythings via Zoom. They'll be via Zoom, by the way, in case you didn't know, they're via Zoom. One of the things I love about these is that it gets that interaction between us going, and you know, and that honestly I think that is priceless. That's priceless. So bring your questions, bring a drink, bring a snack, make sure you show your face, and I can't wait to see you next Thursday. Any questions or anything, shoot and holler at me, and we'll do the best we can to get anything sorted. Okay, listen guys, have an amazing day. Cheers and stay safe.